Good morning, traders. I hope we're all doing well. Welcome to TradeSetup and the live stream for the 3rd of November. Okay, as I mentioned, I think yesterday, I won't be. I may be a bit tough to do the live stream tomorrow morning. We're heading up to Queensland later today, so I'll be out of the office on Friday. Sorry, in a different office on Friday, so may not be able to do the live stream tomorrow morning. But just keep an eye out. If I send out an alert, then we'll get that up and running. I'll be attempting to at a similar time. Um, and then the same on Monday, and then heading back Tuesday, so Tuesday night. Um, yeah, so I hope everyone's well. Looking forward to another interesting day. We had the US sell off again overnight. A bit of a continuation from the day before, really, and it's more. Again, it's a lot of this uncertainty based around the US federal elections. Um, I don't think I think everyone was sort of pretty much factoring in a Clinton victory. But it looks like after the recent FBI, all this sort of turmoil for her, it's not looking that great. So it's looking a bit even. Even maybe Trump has got his nose in front. So I think the market's not taking too kindly to that. I think there's more uncertainty and the unknown around Trump as a president. God forbid us that too. But we'll see how it goes. I think that's on November 8th or 9th or thereabouts, the elections. And then we'll find out, I guess, a day or so later, whatever happens there. Yeah, well, that's interesting. And then we had the was it FOMC Fed Reserve rates announcement yesterday. They come out as expected. They come out and they left them unchanged, and I think really just reiterated the fact that there's a high potential of a rate rise in December if those numbers continue the way they are. So as long as the economic data coming out that's pretty positive and just continues along the way it's going, then you expect a rate hike in December. So that will be interesting to see how that market goes, because would have expected a sell-off after that, but since it's actually happening now, we are getting a good sell-off now. I think it's a bit earlier than what I expected, but yeah, we could be pushing up into that too, because it's actually not bad for the US. They're not doing so bad, so yeah, we'll have to see how all that plays out. So let's get into it and have a look at the markets. Let's just delete that there. All right. Yeah, like I say every morning, if you want to send out a chart, we can have a look at. If you've got some queries on levels or you've got a trade that is specific, take the opportunity and send it out. You can send it to support@tradesetup.com.au, and then we'll go over it. And feel free to disagree with anything I say. I'm more than happy. I'll actually switch you off live stream if it's too bad. But yeah, no, feel free to send anything out and make any comments you want. I'll give my view. It's always good. I mean, it's always a learning curve too. It's always nice to hear someone else's view on different things, because I look at things differently to anyone else. Even having a good chat with Davin, he looks at things different to me, and it's really worthwhile having a different view, because you can get stuck in your own head sometimes, and that it could be good. I mean, you can go well, but there's other times when you just learn something new. It's just a slightly different way of different perspective, and that could really help with your trading. So I'm always open for it, and I think everyone really should be, just to increase your to get better with your trading, I guess, just to improve your trading overall. Yeah, or like I said, put it through chat as well. Put through a code or something you want to look at through chat. Well, let's get into it. ASX is only down 17 at the moment. It's only 20 past 10. We've only been open for a few minutes. Yeah, a big sell-off yesterday, and obviously we're down with some major support heading down there. Not too bad in open. We could easily just sell off bounce and then sell off into the close, which we just watch in the futures. Let's actually get it up. Just watching the futures market here. This is the SPY 200. You can see that's a 30-minute chart. But if we just let's just get onto a daily for a different perspective. Now it's not quite working what I wanted to see. All right, so we've got the daily chart here. You can see that's obviously rolling over. We're coming to a major support down here, and it's just massive sell-off on the open. see this candle, it's open, just gone bang, straight back up again, about a 20-point drop. I think it was about a 20-point drop, 51.62. I think that's where the futures opened and got down to a lower 45. So close to 20 points, bang, and then straight back up again. And we've just bounced from there. So that's your daily. It's not looking too good, but it's looking extended into that support zone in there. So just remembering that. Anything that's sort of extended, you expect a bit of reaction off there. We could be getting that today. We don't know, but it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. If we can get that on a 30-minute chart. So that's that same zone, 51.37, say 51.40, round number. You've got a key level just up here at 53. We've made those lower highs and we're just working our way down. Edit, draw horizontal sets around that 40 mark there. You've got a level also just in here. So you can see that market's really rolling over. It's a bit of a bounce at the moment. We're really bouncing up quite strong. I think that's just that reaction off that support. We've had major extensions, so we could just get a bit of backing and filling today and building that major. We've also got a sort of key level through here. So that's where it's pushed down, taken out these lows. We've headed down. We've had a nice big extension through down here. That's that leg down. Or we could just purely be, look, we rushed through that level there, and we've still got another level. We could get a bounce right up to this level, so don't get too caught up. But anyway, that's looking interesting today. I thought it would be a bit more negative than that, but yeah, that's the futures there. Anyone interested in the futures market? Just take that away. Okay, so we've got markets, it's down 12. It's still creeping a bit lower, but I don't think the futures market was pointing to a more negative open and maybe a massive washout on the downside. So just remembering that futures is traded overnight. The ASX is open, it's only down 12, so probably a bit of short covering on the futures market there. Yeah, it's an interesting one. We've got a few of our short stocks are going quite well. ASX is actually bouncing. I was hoping that to get through 45 today, and we could potentially take some profit off the table. But we'll see how that goes. We've still got it short from 47. There's a lot of fat in that at the moment. Actually, quite a lot up over $1. We'll see if we can get that pushing down today. A bit of negativity will push it down, hopefully below 45, where we'll look to just to see how negative it is. Just keep an eye on it. Take some off the table, half off the table, and let the rest just open up and see if we can get it down to 44 mark or lower through that level. You never know. It's looking, it's had a massive consolidation through here and built up through here, and then just had the extension up, and we could just be contracting back into this zone, even back, could go right down to 41. There's potential for that to really contract quite a bit, retrace that move. Telstra, that's still looking very weak. It's just a slow mover, this one, on the downside anyway. So we might potentially today look to take some off the table because that's just grinding lower. This grinding action I'm not a big fan of. If it's going to fail, you want to see it fail. You want those washout moves, a decent day down. We haven't quite had that, and whether Telstra whether or not it does it is a different thing. It does massive volume, so I'd like to see that. Yep. So I think we are still happy to be short that, and I think there's quite a bit in that. You look at the daily, you've had that, that grind high, take out these highs, a big push down, taking out a lot of these lows through, through 5. As soon as we got down there, it come from quite a good distance, that strong move down, but the actual reaction, off that 5 zone wasn't too good. That's not conducive of the market being positive in any way. You'd expect a better reaction if the market, buyers were going to step up to the plate and push it back up again, but it really failed, retested 5, made that lower high again around that 510 to 12 zone, and then we got short in there, 499 I think, thereabouts. So that's just grinding its way lower. Like, I always like to look at that. The stochastics are in over. I say oversold, I guess, but it's still, that's the probability is starting to wane of it, moving down. But there's nothing to say it can't. You see this move down here. See it's grind down, it's gone oversold, so you never base a trade purely on that. It's just an indicator. Again, price action is always key. What you see in price action and levels always a key. They should take precedent over anything else. So in saying that, we got to oversold. We're somewhere around this mark, 560. Now it's gone all the way down to 5.60 drop, and it just stayed oversold. So that could easily happen again. We can just grind our way right down. So it'd be good to see. I mean, the weekly looks really, really weak. A weak weekly. That's me for wrapping today. But that looks it definitely looks weak, and it could push down quite easily. It could push down to this zone down here. What's that? Lows at 450 zone. Push down there. But yeah, we're happy to just keep an eye on that one. We could potentially just take some off the table. If it hangs around this level for too long and the market starts bouncing, then we may look at that. But we'll see how we go. What else we got here? We've got SLR's doing well. We longed that one from 60.5. It had an announcement today. It's Musgrave, I think, MGV, high grade results continue at break of day. Now, I don't follow the announcement as obviously the fundamentals as much as some, but any positive announcement is going to be a flow on into SLR, and we've seen that. Obviously, we've seen it with the pop up yesterday, 364, and it's trading up there again today. I think the high is 64 today. So it's not a big mover, but we're still expecting that push, push up towards that 70 mark. I think we alerted that to the database yesterday, the early hours of this morning. Half an hour ago, really. Early hours. Yeah, so that's still looking great. Potentially looking just to, I mean, I would be happy with just this grinding move, and we're getting this price action starting to. I want to see that shock to the top side and just see if we can take some off on that one. It could easily just keep going. You get this top price action which just grinds through it and then spikes up. A bit of consolidation, a bit of grinding action, then bank straight up. Or like this type of action, you go up, down, up, down, up, down, and you just capitulate. But on the upside, up towards 70 and just push its way up there. Then we looked for a partial exit anyway. But we could potentially, we'll just keep an eye on this one. We could just lock in a break even just for now and just see what happens. I'm a big one for that. If we get something on the table, just to lock it in and see how we go. Now RMS, we had that level at 49.5. Let's just go to the bigger chart here. That alright, let's use my little tool. I do like this one, so I think it's worth having a good look at it. Now, we looked at that yesterday, obviously. I'm pretty sure we looked at it yesterday. Now, your major support through here. We've had another major higher low, and that higher low was really only confirmed with that push up through 49.5, I think it was, which had happened yesterday. I say it's confirmed because once you sort of break these key levels, these anchor levels we call it, of the downtrend, then we're looking for that. Now we're breaking out, we're consolidating through here. We built a higher low. I mean, structurally, it's hard to find better structure than that. That's awesome structure. I really like looking at that. And you see that type of setup. You've contracted lower. You had this leg up, a bit of consolidation through here. You're banging in through here, up, down, up, down. I'm just practicing my lines. Another good leg up, contracting lower, consolidation. We could get a bit of this, a bit of a washout at the top, contract back in. We don't know, but the fact that it's spent time building that higher low as well within that range, within that contraction zone, is a great sign. Really like that. So it can easily just project up from there. If we measure that might be a leg up sort of towards there, above 52, which would take us above this sort of minor level 3, or up to 52.5. But yeah, this structure is beautiful. I think I'm in love with it, so it's really, really good. But we'll see how that goes. Any questions on that? Remelius, just quickly check on the emails if anything's popped through. That's good. So yeah, I think this could have a lot in it. I'll see how that plays out. It's actually pushing up strong, so it could be another slow mover, but I think the potential is to just really, just day after day, just push higher in towards that 64.3 level. Alrighty. Now, I could never remember what else we've got. Alright. WTC, now we had that one, we've just raised the stop to above break even. We had it long from 580. Bought it at 580 entry level. We've just put our, I've just touched it up because when we're sort of getting in a bit late in that leg up, especially when you see a couple of down days, we could easily pop up and then roll over again and make a deeper contraction. Actually, let's do that. A reasoning, I'll just give you a reasoning behind this. So, I don't know why it always does that. So we've got this overall trend here. Now we're in say around 580, thereabouts, this level here. Just move the stop up, only because I think we're a bit late. So if we get this leg up, we've got that contraction, and this is the actual finish, the highs of this current leg up. I think it's projecting a bit higher than that, up towards that 620. It's really our projection. It's fallen a bit short. Maybe it's just purely due to the negativity in the market at the moment. But I think if we just get out at break even or just a touch above, just to lock in a small gain, then this could easily just push down. If you can do that, that's the high there. It's on its way back up, make that lower high, and then just have a deeper correction back to that support zone, and then we might see a bit of action, another setup there, but we'll potentially have a go at that. But I think it could easily contract 560, 70 mark quite easily, and then we'll have another go. But it's been good to us in the past, and we've had another go at it, and that's the way it is. If it doesn't work out, now if it turns around and heads straight up through 610, those highs, on with it, then we've got a legitimate stop area there, exit area, and we'll just see how far it can go. It can easily do this type of thing, move back a bit, and then bang, up we go. Alright, EVN, do like that too. So if anyone didn't get it yesterday, we're getting bullish on gold now. I think it's looking good. So maybe we'll kick it off. We'll look at gold again. Ooh. No, maybe we won't. I'll have to just get it up. Oh, that's the market there. Let's just get up gold. So just bear with me 1 minute. Any questions so far, guys? Feel free to put them in while I'm getting myself organised. Yeah. Alright, so we've just been watching this for a bit. That there, we got those lower highs, that contracting lower. We're expecting that sort of 1305 potentially to hold up, build that high low, and then break out if it was going to go higher. It has washed out. I mean, that was a daily level too, a daily support, and that's just washed that out at 1300. Obviously the round figure as well, 1300. Washed that right out. It's come right down to that 1250 zone where it's been bought up in there, back up into that sort of breakout area, 1305. Alright, all that being said, we could easily, that structure alone may not look too positive. We could be getting that lower high in there and rolling over, but if you take it in terms of the day, that it still looks quite positive. It looks quite nice, and we've had that big washout to the downside. So there's a lot of players being put back on the sidelines. Buyers are stepping in back up here. Now we could easily just let me just draw this up. Yes, okay. So we could easily just sort of back and fill off there a bit, come down, and then start making this type of action. If that worked out, that didn't really work out good at all, did it? Let's just try that again. So it's taking this into account what's happening here. We've got a major support right down here, you know, in that, say that 1200 zone thereabouts. We've touched down, made another higher low. Nothing really confirmed just yet on the longer term basis, but at 1250, it's looking quite good. These highs are, you know, pushing down into that zone, so it is still starting to hold, and it looks like it potentially could easily hold higher lows, which longer term is really, really good. We want to see that. Now if we could easily just, you know, we could spike up to this sort of resistance zone, pull back, but what we're going to see is just these inside lows. So let's just take that. So inside just make some minor higher lows there, and you can see that contracting in, minor lower highs, higher lows, and then bang, off we go again. If that's the case, and so that alone is good. We don't know which way it's going to go, but in context of this overall move and the low down here at 1250, and this is going to potentially be a major higher low just through here. I don't know what zone, but just for example, you know, you're hitting that 1270, 75, 65, whatever area, but building that major higher low where it could just push up off and just project straight through that resistance. So that could easily happen and take out 1305 again and just look non-stop and just go straight up. We don't know what's going to happen, but if that's the case and we're looking a bit quite bullish or positive on gold, then we want to go down to the gold stocks, and they're showing indication of, you know, they've contracted too, so they're getting to a point where they're looking really good. They're looking shiny and new. So it looks like it could easily people can load back up, and especially what's happening. Imagine if Trump gets in, you get all these factors starting to line up. The unknown of what Trump's going to do, and I think we don't know what he's. I mean, who knows what he's planning or what his views are? But from his rhetoric, big word for me, what he's been saying, it's not looking great. I don't like what he's been saying anyway. So if the market's taking it a bit negative and he gets in, then it could be, you know, a bit of a piling into safe haven assets. And gold's one of them, obviously, and everything's sort of lining up for that. On the downside, if this does just roll over, you know, we could be heading back down. It sort of builds that lower high, you know, and then sort of contracts and then bang, we go down. Because it could easily happen. Yeah, then this could just push down lower, and then okay, the trade's not on, no harm done. But just keeping that in mind, if we go off to a few gold stocks, we've got, you can see that they're all starting to show signs. I just think, you know, it's had a good run up. It's corrected, you know, lower highs, lower lows, correcting, and it's starting to make those minor, if you see on a daily basis, those minor high lows just in here, just taking out this recent a key level really at 23. That's new crest. So that's starting to look like it's getting that U shape, and, you know, that curve into it. So it could easily pull back, hold these, sort of make another minor high low, and then go off we go. Evolution Mining, we've been on this one. I think we've had a really good run on this last time. I couldn't tell you, to be honest. I think it was further back than that. If we just do something here, I think it was somewhere way back here. We had a good little run to spike up, and we took some in here as well. Never quite remember, but that, if we can draw that there, let's just try to get this last leak so we can see it. Okay, it's pushed down. We've built that base and we pushed straight up through these highs at $2. Now that's a definite key level. Let's just get that again. So key level through there at 2. It's just pulling back to touch that zone. Potentially you've got these little rejection bars, a good washout down there. It's bounced back up, retouch that. It's a bit higher than 210. I mean, this zone's, it's more of a zone than just a hard and fast level, but that's all looking fairly good. We could easily correct back down, but just remembering the build up and the potential for gold that we've just discussed. Gold itself could be pushing up, may pull back, build that high low, and then go, and then you'll get a lot of these stocks you'd expect just to pop. They may even start going a bit earlier if that's the case, if everyone's starting to get bullish on gold again. But there's a lot of things that are coming into play. You can even see down here, they're getting in a really good zone, holding a higher low on the weekly basis. It's coming into a good buy zone. There's a lot of things matching up, starting to show. We get that breakthrough there. Let's go into the daily actually. Okay, let's just take another quick look at that. In the background you can probably hear the kids have been a bit annoying. We're trying to get them ready for the plane. They're excited about that. Okay, so you can see that support zone going through here. That's a more minor, shorter term one. That major $2 level. So that's just a minor support I was just looking at there. That contraction lower. So you're getting quite a few good signs. You know, if you look at divergence, you've got it there on the stochastics. You've got this a minor higher low. You know, touch down on this zone here, 210. It's touched it a couple more times, just potentially taking out that high there. So a few things are starting to line up and looking good. And that's another good one. It's a good quality stock. I think it's, I don't know, again, it's a producer. Let's just check. There's a gold mining company focused on mining explorations in Australia. Yeah, so it's doing some good things. So I like that one. So you can see that rising support there, holding higher lows, and it's just contracting back into that zone. Anything comes to a point, you don't know which way it's going to go. It's going to break down or break up, but you're expecting some action either way. So that's what we're sort of looking at, and that we're really gearing up for a pop at the top side. I think that's good. So really starting to look at some gold stocks. Let's get down. AQG, that doesn't look as quite as positive as the others for whatever reason. That's probably not one to focus on too much. But then again, you know, on a weekly, it's getting to that buy zone. It's potentially holding. It could build that higher low. Doesn't look as clean. This is the only problem with Alacia Gold. It doesn't look as clean as EVN, for me anyway. Just making sure. What are we now? Only down 5 points, so we bounced a bit. Not as negative a day so far as what we thought. Getting a bit of bounce in a few of our stocks, but we'll see how we go. Oz Minerals, that's was that today? Why? Okay, there we go. Wrong chart there. So that's had a couple of good, you know, it's had some solid days up. Would have been nice to buy it through there. We were looking at this one, but really, I'll just draw that up. I'll get that on a better chart. Yeah, this one here, it was showing some great signs. I think we alerted to it a while ago just to keep an eye on it, but did want a setup, and we didn't get that. Sometimes, you know, with strong stocks, they don't set up as much. You've just got to grab them by the proverbial, I guess, and jump in. Probably shouldn't have said that, but we'll see. So just drawing that up, what we're looking at, you can see, you know, higher low, higher low, higher low, great price action, and it's just building off that higher low. We didn't, hard one to get in. I think we discussed this yesterday. Hard one to get in, but it's just popped up. We still could easily see a pullback, build that high low, and then go, and that could take us up straight up through $7. Looking great there. Yeah, I don't know. We went over this yesterday. Let's just have just see what they're doing today. Northern Star, a similar price action, just washed out those lows. Nothing significant. Made a minor high low just here around that. So all that action's around that $4 mark, and we've got a bit to get through. 480 is sort of the key level at the moment, but if we start seeing a bit more contraction and holding higher lows, then look for that pop to the top side. Again, they're all, you can see this type of, oh, that didn't work. You can see that type of price action there. Newcrest correcting lower, it's actually gone, potentially gone already. You know, correction lower, contraction lower, holding some key support levels. Alacia's not looking the greatest. Oz Minerals done a similar type of thing. Same bar, but contracting lower. The weekly, look at this type of price action. We love that. That's great. It's a W pattern. I don't know if many people talk to Davin much, but that's what he loves to see. You get those lower lows, lower highs building. You get that W pattern. Potentially to push up off that is, yeah, looking good at the moment. Contraction lower, all looking very similar. That was St. Barbara. Northern Star, same sort of type of thing. We're in the weekly, same type of thing. So good signs starting to show. Saracen, again, we're seeing all these. See, they're all in the similar top of zone. We've had a good pullback since about July, August. DCM, we've had a good crack at that previously. That, it's looking quite strong also. Do like that one. Not a high volume, obviously, but if anyone that wants to take a bit more risk, that's starting to look good. It could easily just wash out that top side straight through 4 and move quite strongly. Yes, there's not much into that. Anyway, Anne-Marie, FWD. It's infailed a bit. A negative. Okay, let's just take a look at that then. Yeah. Okay. Tend to mumble a bit to myself, but that looks, if we just go, let's just drill it right out. Yeah, so that price action is quite choppy. It's beautiful in here. I mean, on a monthly basis, we're looking at beautiful in here. That spike up, and then for whatever reason, just washed straight out. That was GFC. So that's a bit hard to take that into account. It's just had a big washout of these lows, which is about $6. Okay, then we had that strong rally for a few years, push up, build a major lower high, another lower high, and just completely capitulated in 2013 sometime, straight down. So we're back down at the start, which would annoy the company, but straight back down into that starting zone down there. So you got some major support potentially. So now we're just got to drill down and see how it's playing out on a weekly. Well, let's just drill in on this a bit more. She's drilling in a little bit more than that. Get to here. Oh, I don't like that. All right. Screen snap. Now that, so take into account potentially a major support zone down here at $1. It's not hard and fast again. You're just looking for anything strong. Say this is a base and you're moving down into it. You should get proportional type moves. That's why I like to view it. You bounce off that support. If we're going to go through like here, you'd expect a similar proportional type move through, showing a bit of strength, washing them out majorly, and then, then going again, maybe capitulation there. But if that's a major support zone, when you get, just something to keep in mind, these type of moves, when you just get that touch through, and then it pulls back into that zone, that's just, to me, I'd view that more as just a washout, and then just try not to think too much on the short side, but looking for the long side. So then you've got to build your picture for what's happening on the long side. Okay, we know we've looked at the monthly. I can't remember, was this a weekly? No, this is a weekly. So just building the picture. We've got a key level through here, through that $2 zone. Let's draw that a bit straighter. Okay, so as we've got this, sort of flush that out. And prior to really this breaking, that's a key level, but 250 is probably the major anchor for that. This leg lower, you've come up, you tried to go down, failed a couple of times, so you're probably expecting a deeper contraction, so you get those higher lows only minor on a minor scale, push back up. We've managed to wash out, so this level 250 is held, and then we've made a broken down through that. So that's a nice price action actually on the weekly. We pushed down, so we've broken down through that support, which is this 110, so that's that low there. Really didn't get on with it. Tried again, couldn't get on with it. So it's only really a 10-cent move over all that time. Really couldn't get on with it. So once you start seeing a break, following it from left to right, a break up through here, 130, you've got to be questioning that whole price section more of just a major low at 1 to 110, a major double bottom, however you want to view it, major support zone. So we don't know exactly what's confirmed now, but this, if we can go, I'll just draw that. I've actually changed colors, sorry. this becomes more of a key level now. Okay, so you've had that push down. This is your anchor leg. It's banging around. It's tried. It's had to pull back to have another go at it. Had a deeper correction. Wash out it. Bring in a few long positions and wash them back out again. Couldn't go on with it. So there's enough people there that were happy to buy, or just hold. If they're long, I'm just going to sit and hold it and see what happens. Couldn't get on with it. So we've come back up. So now this is a key level at 220. All right. So going from there, we can start to see the pictures building. You've got a major double bottom, some key levels, maybe consolidation through here. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. Another key level up at 220. We're starting to build that base just below 220. Now, whether we roll over from here and just going to go straight back and correct and build a major, if that says this is that's our key level in there. If we go back and build a major, we've pushed up, touch through it, say, pull back into that zone. If that is a lower high, then you'd expect this action to take us through and just pull back, build a more major low to go. This could be, if that's going to be, it's not my pretty pink that I liked. If that's that level there, if we're going to, that type of price action contract lower, there's no reason why it can't. It wasn't a good push up through 220, not at all. It just spiked through, but sometimes that's the lead up to what we get that price action, and bang, off we go. Initial wash, pull back into the zone, build, which I would be inclined to think we'd get that type of price action maybe. Contraction back, minor lower highs, lower lows, and then as soon as you make that higher low in here, it could be on, it could be around this level. We don't know, that sort of zone. Well, let's just draw that up. It could be just, maybe that target area. Who knows? It's but just pulling back to build a more major higher low than $1. The 1 to 110 support mark somewhere in there, and then bang, we could be off again. But if we'll just go back down to the daily. So does that make sense? We're trying to build a picture of what could happen. Yeah. Again, this is, I guess, what we discussed a couple of days ago. Just prepping a market, prepping on what your view could be, what's happening. The initial signs. Take into account these initial signs. Maybe that pop up through here. If that's a lower high, at the moment on the daily, once we drill down to the daily, we'll see what we're talking about. That doesn't mean anything. It's got to get through sort of that 180 mark to confirm that as a lower high. Then you expect this type of price action. If it doesn't, it could easily build on a daily basis a higher low and then go. But what we'll do, we'll get that on a daily. That's probably not what I want. So okay, we're just taking into account this last price action there. Just drill in a bit. It's the second push up towards 2002, which then fails a bit of a negative. Yeah, no, you're right. So I guess I'm in a long story short. See what happens when you ask me a question. I get a bit carried away. So yeah, support zone down there. $2 was out. So I think it's 220 thereabouts was that low. So that's the area you're talking about, that lower high, potentially lower high. Nothing's confirmed just yet. It could easily roll over. It is looking like it could, but that's just taking all that into account. It could just be contracting, and then this level hold. It's pushed up, pulled back, and another push up towards here. We're starting to make that lower high. We're in here. We could easily just go, and then off she goes. We don't know, but it is a sign of negativity. But if we get, say, that's just holding, and you could just, this is a bit like CKL. I think we were trading a similar type of price action. You get that contraction in on a major level. We're down towards the base, support line. If you're somewhere in the middle of the range, it's a bit harder to trade, but that could potentially be through 205, could be an entry, minor risk at 195, for example. But then you've got to be wary of that resistance holding just above 2. So there's potentially not a lot of fat in that. But all these signs, that could easily go through there. And if you start getting up towards 220 again, yeah, then you'd suggest that that's breaking out, it's breaking to the top side, and then you start getting that $2 zone coming under fire, and then up towards these highs at 230. But you've got this picture in your head until, there's a chance that could be a little entry. We don't know. It's not beautiful. It's not a perfect entry, or you can even hold your stops down here as a potential trade. That means it takes you way out, and if you get hit on that stop, you confirm that that's rolling over. So you've had your go, didn't work out, so be it. But if it's gonna roll over, it could easily just roll over from here. As soon as you start taking out sort of that, on the downside, if that's not an entry, if you're just looking at it from a short side, what's going to happen if we start heading south towards that 190 and take that level out? I'd say it's rolling over, and the bigger picture is where rather than heading up here, we're actually going to do this type of thing. That's the support level there, rolling over, and that what we mentioned just before on a more major scale, pulling back, and then go. So that is what could be happening. All right, so the way I view it at the moment is just the market's obviously contracting. There's no clear signal exactly what's happening, but you're exactly right. That push up here is a negative sign at the moment. Yeah, I'm clear and precise. So does that make sense there? All right. I'm probably going to have to call it a day there. I've actually didn't realize the time, nearly 11. But it's some interesting stuff happening just at the moment. Let's just go back to have a quick look at the market. Down 6, so we're teetering in negative territory. Nothing too flash. But we'll see how that goes. ASX could be better. Telstra's holding up. It's another short. We've got Tassel. It sort of opened and sold off from the open. It opened quite strong. It's sort of retesting up towards that breakout level. I think, what are we short from 85, 86 thereabouts? Could be better. It could be way down here. But I think overall that overall structure is looking very negative. We'll see how that goes. That's it. Just quick check anything to discuss while we're there. That one we held no, it's daily. That's WTC. Now I'm just trying to remember. That's not WTC. We're just holding that, so we've got our stop just above break even, which we mentioned. We'll see how that goes. Okay, guys. Now, thank you very much. Yeah, thanks, Anne-Marie. Thanks for joining in, guys. And we'll see how we go tomorrow. But just keep an eye out for that alert around that 10:15 mark. That's Melbourne time. I'll be in Queensland, so that makes it 9:45, I think. I guess Devon will confirm that later. But yeah, I think that's about right. We'll see how we go tomorrow morning if we can get that live stream happening again. And we'll might even see if Dav can say g'day. But thanks for joining me, guys, and we'll speak to you soon.